Thanks a lot. Hi, I'm Jason Turner from Northern Virginia, or as you would probably expect me to say, how y'all doing? So tonight I've heard a lot of really awesome, like intelligent, creative, funny stuff, and this may be none of those. We'll see. I wake up in the morning and my very first thoughts are of you. Just imagining holding you again makes me get out of bed just like it does every morning. Longing for your warmth works better than any alarm clock ever invented by man. What we share is special and can never be replaced. It's a bond that cannot be broken, and I dare anyone to try. I have to have you the moment I see you. I smile just thinking of you. The taste of you lingers on my lips. My entire body warm and filled with a pleasure I cannot describe, or will not. We must keep some secrets to ourselves, shouldn't we? When we are apart, my thoughts linger on our times together. My thirst for you grows with each aching moment. I must have you again, and soon. There are those who don't understand what we have, and I pity them. In their hearts, they yearn for what we share, and they will never find it. I finally make it through those endless moments without you. I know our time apart makes me appreciate you more, but it's hard. So very hard. Finally, we are reunited. I hold you in my hands. I press you against my trembling lips, filled once again. Alive again. Renewed. Reborn. I know I don't tell you this enough, but I love you, coffee. And I always will. My spirit soars, my soul elated, my body alive and invigorated. You get me so hot I percolated. A love like ours is never decaffeinated. Okay. That was called A Hot Steaming Cup of Love. I will tell you a tale that you must hearken, a story so vile your spirit will darken. It began in my bedroom some time ago, and what took place filled me with wonder and woe. I lay in my bed, or should I say lie? That always confuses me, I don't quite know why. But I digress. Let's get back to the tale that will make your soul weep and your heart wail. So I was in my bed with covers pulled, hoping that something under the bed hadn't just drooled. But that puddle underneath wasn't monster spittle. It was there because I had peed a little. Please don't ridicule me or my weak bladder. If you please stop interrupting, I'll tell you what was the matter. Now, other than the room smelling like a city bus, with a scent surprisingly similar to asparagus, nothing looked strange or seemed amiss, but something felt terribly wrong, just like a cousin's kiss. I closed my eyes and tried to ignore my fears. I swallowed terror and fought back my tears. Finally, I opened my scared peepers and looked around, till I saw a figure standing in the dark, making no movement or sound. I tried to escape, but dashed were my hopes, because I discovered I was bound by invisible ropes. My captor came closer, revealing a face as pale as the dead, with dark streaks on his eyes like blood that was bled. He grabbed me with his evil, white, gloved hands, and threw me over his shoulder with no word of demands. He carried me out the front door like a whimpering potato sack. I feared I would soon be killed by this creature of white and black. Suddenly I was tossed as easily as a child skips a riverbed rock into what I can only describe as an invisible box. I found myself surrounded by other victims of similar crimes. My God, they cried, we're doomed, for it's the revenge of the mimes. Like a wind that has been broken with an aroma so violent, these creepy killer clowns were both deadly and silent. Across the great land, these mimes they did roam, snagging each resident of every hotel and home. Their dark powers grew along with their sins. It seemed nothing could stand in the way of hell's harlequins. But suddenly I felt a strange presence, and I began to glow. I had become possessed by the spirit of Marcel Marceau. He had returned to the world from which he once did depart, because the actions of his namesakes had now broken his ghost heart. This king of mimes filled me with his sadness and rage, so as if it were nothing, I ripped open my cage. My soundless escape quickly noticed the mimes began coming back. Like a silent march of evil penguins, they prepared for attack. I knocked a few down with an imaginary gale I made blow. Then I was pelted by rocks they pretended to throw. After distracting me while juggling make-believe balls, they ran in slow motion and crashed into my invisible walls. I was then greeted by their silent, smiling squeals as I slipped on a pile of unseen banana peels. I feared Marcel and I would soon be overpowered by these jerks and their uncool bow ties and stupid fake flowers. But then Marcel's power awoke as if from a dream, and through me he let out a blood-curdling, silent scream. Like a mime messiah, his amazing magic exploded, and all the good people's bonds instantly eroded. Next was a sight that nearly left me deranged, when I watched as the people set free began to change. They all transmogrified into street performers of every kind, a more weird and wonderful army you could never find. There were tap dancers, fire breathers, and jugglers on stilts, organ grinders with their monkeys and bagpipers in kilts, sandwich board saviors ringing their end-of-world bells, vendors shouting praises of their delicious food smells. Unemployed actors sang as blind men played the blues. Some shady-looking guys were selling almost new shoes. Men were spray-painted to look like silver and gold robots. There were many others too, but the rest I forgot. We all stood there, a raving lunatic mob, when all went quiet, except for a single sob. I managed to fight back some well-deserved cheers as my army and I stared at the mime's coal-black tears. The lead maniac mime actually stepped forward and spoke. "We surrender," he managed to say with a choke. So before it had begun, our battle came to an end, and those two-toed terrors blew away like the wind. Soon my magic dissipated, and Marcel rejoined the dead. Memories of it all faded, and the world went back to bed. Now I am the only one left to tell the tale of the time when we were all nearly succumbed to the revenge of the mimes.
No.